Hello, everybody, and I would like to thank my wonderful subscribers.
Hello everybody, and today we are going to be watching another Mr. Nightmare video. This one came out 5 hours ago, and it's called Glee Scary 2 Hide and Seek Horror Stories. I like hide and seek. The only real issue I ever have is that there's just not enough places to hide depending on the house. Sometimes I play at my house or at a friend's house, but no matter what house, it never feels like there's enough room. Especially if you're at a friend's house or a family member's house and you can only be downstairs. That did not give you a lot of options. So a lot of the time you have to be hiding in a closet or behind an object, a couch, and it's tight. But those are really good ways to hide, because nobody believes that you would do that just to win hide and seek. But I have a feeling that these are going to be a little more scary than my hide and seek experiences. Let's see. Why? Okay, I was just kind of wondering why hide and seek was spelled like that. Kind of weird. You do this. You'd be scared. You'd be terrified.
1, 2.
Oh, that is creepy.
3,
You did not need to do that.
4,
5. Shit. Now I'm dead.
I was 15 when it happened.
Oh no.
It was a Friday night in late September.
Yeah?
Just starting to get cold where I lived. My parents went out to dinner with some family friends, and they said they would not be home until late.
Yeah.
I had the house to myself. I invited over my neighbor and best friend, Chris.
Okay.
He was the same age as me
How
and
old?
lived across the street. We usually hung out in my basement and played games or watched movies.
Okay.
But that night we got bored.
I never done that.
At some point, he brought up playing hide and seek.
Okay.
It sounded dumb at first, but we had done it before with a group.
Yeah.
And it had been fun.
But
The
only
house
2
was
people?
small, but it had a lot of places to hide, especially in the dark.
Okay.
We turned off most of the lights to make it scarier. The only light on was in the kitchen. The rules were simple.
Yeah.
No going outside, no going into the attic or the crawl space. Basement, bedrooms, closets, and under furniture were all fair game.
Okay. Good
Chris
rule.
wanted to hide first, so I covered my eyes in the living room and counted to 50.
50.
I could hear him running at first, and then silence.
We do 10.
I finished counting and announced that I was coming. I started in the kitchen since it was right there, but there was nowhere good to hide.
Yeah.
I checked behind the basement door, then down the hall.
Ooh.
I looked in the bathroom. Empty.
Yeah.
I opened the closet near the front door. Nothing.
Okay.
I went upstairs. The floor creaked under me,
Ooh.
and every little sound made me tense. I checked my
I hate
parents'
those
bedroom
old houses.
first, looking under the bed and behind the dresser. Nobody. I went down the hall into my room. It was messy, but not
Yeah.
enough for Chris to hide well.
Yeah.
I still checked the closet and under the desk.
Yeah,
Nothing.
those are necessary.
That left the guest room at the end of the hall. The door was cracked open. I pushed it slowly.
Okay, now I've seen a lot of Mr. Nightmare videos, and I think I know how most of these stories go. Usually what happens is that the cheater believes that, oh hey, they're in this room, and they're about to check the last place they could be hiding, but then they hear a noise in another area, another part of the house, that tells them, oh wait, my friend is over there. Who is here? And that's usually how it goes, but I'm not gonna assume.
Slowly, expecting him to jump out and scare me,
shit.
but the room was dark and quiet.
Okay. No
I
one?
stepped inside and scanned around. I
Okay.
bent down to look under the bed. Nothing.
Okay, Dad.
I opened the closet door.
Yeah?
Empty. At that point, I thought maybe he was in the basement, so I went back downstairs. I checked behind the laundry machines and in the storage space under the stairs.
Okay.
I was about to give up when I finally found him curled up behind some
thank God.
boxes. He laughed and asked how long it had taken me.
I don't know.
I told him way too long. Then we switched.
Okay.
He counted and I hid. I went upstairs and slid under the guest bed, pulling the bed
Really?
skirt down to cover me.
Like it?
My heart raced while I lay there in the dark. I heard him come upstairs a few minutes later.
Okay.
His footsteps slow and heavy on the floor.
They did a reverse
He
it
opened the
now.
bathroom door first. Then he stepped into my parents' room. After a while, the footsteps came down the hall toward where I was.
Be
I could
quiet.
hear him breathing as he walked into the
Is
guest
it
room.
him?
He stopped near the bed. I held my breath. His shoes shuffled against the carpet.
His
Then
shoes?
silence. A long silence. I thought he had figured it out and was about to
No.
yank up the bed skirt. But instead, he walked
Oh,
out.
thank God.
I lay there a few more minutes, waiting to hear him call that I had won, but the house stayed too quiet.
Oh no.
Finally, I crawled out. I went downstairs expecting to find him on the couch, but he wasn't there.
Ooh.
I called out that the game was over.
Oh no, what happened to
A
him?
voice came from the basement saying he was down there.
Is that
I
his?
thought he was messing with me.
Is that his
I walked to the
voice?
basement door, opened it, and shouted down the stairs. He shouted back that he was still looking for me.
What?
And he asked where I was hiding. That made my stomach twist. I told him I was out now and standing in the kitchen. A second later, I heard him coming up the stairs. He stepped into the light
What?
and looked confused. He asked how I had gotten upstairs so fast.
Oh no.
I told him I had been under the guest bed the whole time. He
Okay.
frowned and said he could have sworn he checked that room, and he heard someone moving inside. He said he thought he heard breathing.
What?
I told him I stayed perfectly still. We argued a little, but then we just
Whoa, whoa,
shrugged
whoa,
it
whoa,
off.
whoa, whoa, whoa. What?
He asked how I had gotten upstairs so fast.
Okay.
I told him I had been under the guest bed the whole time.
Yeah.
He frowned and said he could have sworn he checked that
Yeah.
room, and he heard someone moving inside. He said he thought he heard breathing.
Wait. Yo, you are supposed to be the cheater. Your job is to find a hider. If you hear moving in a room, and you're the only people there, then your job as a cheater is to go inside that room and find them. So why didn't you check the room? The story, like, am I confused or am I an idiot? Because the part doesn't really make sense to me. Let me rewind it once more.
Had been under the guest bed the whole time.
Okay?
He frowned and said he could have sworn he checked that
Yeah.
room, and he heard someone moving inside. He said he thought he heard breathing.
In the
I
basement
told
or
him I
in the
stayed
room?
perfectly still. We argued a little,
Okay.
but then we just shrugged it off. We played another
Weird.
round, but the whole time I felt uneasy.
Obviously.
Every creak in the house made me jump.
Yeah.
At one point, while I was counting, I thought I heard something upstairs, like a soft thud. But when I searched, it was empty.
Okay.
I found Chris in the laundry room.
Oh.
We kept playing until we both got tired.
Well, yeah, I
and we sat
bet.
on the couch in the living room and turned the TV back on.
Okay.
That's when we both froze.
What? You
From
heard
upstairs
something?
came a loud bump, like something heavy falling. Chris asked if it was my parents.
No.
I reminded him they were still gone.
Duh.
The hair on my arm stood up.
Yeah.
We sat there waiting.
You have
but
to be the
house went
man of the
silent
house.
again. Chris said maybe something slid off a shelf.
Maybe.
I wanted to believe that, but then, while we sat listening, we both heard it clearly.
A foot?
A slow creak of floorboards.
Ooh.
The sound of someone walking down the hall upstairs.
Oh, you have to
We stared at
run,
each other. neither
grab
of
a
us
knife,
moving.
and call the police.
Then I whispered that maybe we should check. Chris shook his head, saying no way. But if someone had broken in, we couldn't just sit there.
Duh.
I told him to stay behind me and grab the fireplace poker from beside the
Oh,
couch.
wow, you are
We went to the
Blade.
stairs and started creeping up. The house was so quiet I could hear my own breathing.
Yeah?
The steps groaned under our weight.
Ooh,
When we reached
not
the top,
good.
they pointed toward the guest room. The door
Yeah?
was closed now. I
It
knew for a
wasn't?
fact I had left it cracked open.
Ooh.
We stood there frozen. Then from behind the door came a sound.
Oh!
A slow dragging noise, like fabric sliding across the carpet.
Oh, yeah, they saw?
Chris whispered that we should leave.
Maybe
I
even
wanted
no.
to, but curiosity and fear kept me in place. I raised the poker and reached for the knob. When I tell you my hands were shaking, I'm not just saying that to be dramatic for the story.
I don't doubt it.
I pushed the door open fast. The room was dark, but the shape of the bed and the dresser were visible.
And you think she's
Nobody was there.
Oh.
The closet door stood half open. I moved closer as Chris stayed in the doorway. I yanked the closet door open. Inside was nothing but coats and boxes. We both let out shaky laughs, pretending it was all in our heads.
What about the bed?
But then, just as we turned to leave, we heard another sound.
Under the bed?
This time it wasn't upstairs. It was downstairs. The sound of the front door opening and closing.
Oh, he ran.
Froze again. Chris whispered that someone was in the house.
Or out of
I
it.
felt my stomach drop. We ran down the hall and crouched in my room with the lights off. I held the poker tight. We listened, and at first there was nothing. Then there were...
You know, you can kind of tell if a door is opening and closing, I think. You can usually tell, logically, if that man, if you heard noises in the house, and then you heard the door, open and close, doesn't that kind of mean that he just left the house? But then, you're kids, you're probably too worried to even think about it.
were faint footsteps on the first floor. I wanted to call the police, but my phone was on the couch where we had been sitting.
Shit,
I
why?
whispered that maybe we could sneak out the window, but it was too small. The only way out was down the hall past the stairs. The footsteps moved closer.
Oh no, he is in the
We
house.
heard the basement door open.
I'm an
And the
idiot.
steps went down, one by one. We both exhaled in relief.
Oh,
Whoever it was had gone into the basement.
and you can
So
yacht
we
the
took
man.
that time to run.
And
We
yacht the
sprinted
man.
down the stairs, through the kitchen, and out the back door into the yard.
What?
We didn't stop until we reached
Okay.
Chris's house across the street. His parents were home, and when we told them what happened, they called the police.
Yeah, obviously.
The
Yeah.
officers searched my house from top to
And
bottom.
couldn't find
They
him.
found nothing.
Yeah.
No signs of forced entry or anyone hiding in the basement.
Yeah.
They told us it was probably just the house settling.
No!
Or our imagination
No!
running wild while we played. But Chris and I both knew what we heard. We knew someone had been inside. For weeks after, I couldn't sleep well.
Yeah.
Every creak made me think someone was in the hallway. That was the last time I played hide and seek ever.
Damn.
We're too old for it anyway.
Yeah, you are.
Chris
probably.
and I never talked much about it again. But
I
sometimes
bet.
when we look at each other, I can tell we're both remembering that night. The night hide and seek turned into something else. Even now, years later,
Yeah.
I still think about the sound of the closet door, the dragging noise in the carpet, and the footsteps on the first floor. We never found out who it was.
Yeah.
Maybe a burglar who realized we were still home. Maybe someone who slipped out when we ran.
Yeah.
All I know is that playing hide and seek that night showed us just how scary it is to realize you aren't alone in your own house.
Yeah. Man, I hate when the tops say that. Because, half of the time, in every true story horror, video, sometimes the tops are oh, hey, it would probably be your imagination or something. And if half of the videos go like that, then doesn't that mean that the police officers are just really shitty at finding evidence? You telling me there's no hair? I guess police officers wouldn't look for hair unless they were unless they found any sign somebody had gotten in at all. But I don't know. Don't just lie to them. Don't just deny it happened. Tell them that we can't find any proof, but that it may have happened, but we can't see any evidence, and that we're gonna try, but we're not gonna find anything. I would rather hear that than it was just your imagination. No, don't do that to a kid. It ruins them. They'll never believe themselves. Or the tops again. Who are they gonna trust?
I grew up in a neighborhood that backed right up against a stretch of woods.
Ooh.
The houses lined one side of the street, and behind them was nothing but trees for miles.
I could not.
When I was younger,
Maybe.
A group of us kids from the street used to play together almost every weekend. In the summer, we stayed out late into the night,
Yeah.
sometimes until our parents yelled for us to come home. One of our favorite games was hide and seek. We
Okay.
usually played in the backyards and into the edge of the woods.
It's not my favorite.
It was fun during the day, but at night it
It
was
was
different.
yeah.
The trees swallowed up the light, and everything looked the same no matter where you were.
Yeah.
That was what made it scary,
Yeah.
and that was what made it fun.
In a
The
way.
last time I ever played hide and seek in those woods was when I was 14.
Ooh.
It was August, hot and humid.
I
That
was
night,
14 once.
There were 5 of us. Me, my friend Tyler, his little brother Matt, and 2
I'm
kids from
Matt.
down the street, Jason and Eric.
I hope
We all
Matt
decided to
doesn't
play
die.
outside because it felt cooler than sitting in someone's basement.
Yeah.
The rule was simple.
What did you get?
You could hide anywhere in the backyards or in the woods.
Okay.
But you had to stay close enough to hear when the seeker called the round over.
How do you know
Jason
that?
volunteered to be it first. The rest of us ran off. I went into the woods with Tyler. We split up once we passed the first row of trees. I crouched behind a fallen log, my heart beating hard even though it was just a game.
I mean,
I
yeah.
could hear Jason shouting numbers back in the yard, his voice echoing through the night. When he finished, everything went quiet. Crickets buzzed around me and the leaves rustled in the wind.
That helped.
I stayed low and
It
still.
covers your voice.
After a while, I heard footsteps in the leaves. They were moving between the trees. I thought it was
It's
Jason.
not.
I held my breath and waited for him to pass. The footsteps stopped not far from me.
Oh.
Whoever it was stood there. I waited for them to call
Over
out
you?
or move again, but they didn't. I felt my skin prickle. I almost whispered to ask who it was.
No.
But then I remembered the rules.
Yeah.
If
Duh.
I gave myself away, I would lose.
Duh.
So I stayed still. Finally, the steps started again.
Okay.
They crunched through the leaves, moving deeper into the woods.
Huh.
I listened until I couldn't hear them anymore. I peeked
Good.
over the log, but it was too dark to see far. The moonlight only lit up the tops of the trees. I
Okay.
stayed hidden a few more minutes before I got tired of waiting.
Well, yeah, I bet.
I crawled out and started creeping back toward the yards.
Well, you hit
As I
that board.
walked,
You
I
wait.
heard Jason calling that the round was over and everyone should come out.
Okay.
I hurried
Well,
back
you won.
and found the others already in the yard. Jason had found Tyler and Eric.
But he
not
hadn't
me or
found
Matt.
you.
Matt came
Yeah,
running
I
out
win.
of the woods a minute later, covered in dirt.
Oh.
He laughed and said nobody would have found him.
Haha.
I told them that I had been behind the log and almost got caught when Jason walked right past me.
No. Jason
Jason
didn't
looked
deny
confused. He said he never went that far into the woods. He said he only circled near the first trees and then found Tyler crouched by a fence.
it. Ooh.
I squinted my eyes in confusion.
Wow.
And then asked who it was that walked by me, but everyone just shrugged. We brushed it off and kept playing.
I did
The
not.
next round, I was seeker.
Oh, good,
I
good,
counted
good.
loud against a tree while the others scattered. When I finished, I searched the yards first.
Yeah.
I found Eric hiding behind a shed and Tyler in the bushes.
Yeah.
Then I went into the woods to look for Jason and Matt.
Yeah, they probably
The
hit
woods were quiet
hard.
except for the bugs. My flashlight beams
What are you
swung
about,
through the
Matt?
trees. I listened carefully, trying to catch movement. After a while, I spotted Matt crouched near a tree
Ah.
trunk. I
Rat.
shouted that I had him, and he ran back laughing.
Ah.
That
okay.
left Jason. I
Jason.
searched deeper, calling out that I was coming. That was when I heard it again.
Oh,
the
no.
footsteps. The slow, heavy footsteps moving in the dark.
A hider
from just
wouldn't
ahead of me.
move.
I shined the flashlight that way.
Oh.
But the trees were thick.
Oh.
I walked slowly, trying not to make noise. The footsteps stopped.
Oh
I
no.
waited. Now, admittedly, I was getting a little nervous.
Yeah.
Then I heard Jason call from behind me that the round was over.
Wait, what?
I spun around. He was already walking back to the yard. Confused.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Aren't you the cheater? Why did Jason say when the round is over? Isn't a round over like at the end of a time limit? Or after the cheater says he can't win? Isn't that when a round ends? So like, why did he know the round is over and you don't know the round is over? You're the one who looks for people and should be making sure that we're on time. Does he have a watch and you don't?
I asked if he had just been ahead of me.
No.
He said no. He had been hiding closer to the house the whole time.
Nobody
I
is
felt my
going as
stomach
far
twist.
as you.
Twice now, I had heard someone moving through the woods who wasn't one of us.
Yeah.
I told myself it was probably an animal, but the steps
no.
had sounded human. Too heavy to be a raccoon or a fox, even a deer.
I guess you would know that
We played
living
a
by
few more
it.
rounds. Every time I hid, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone else was out there.
I would hide close to
I
the
kept
house
hearing
at this
faint noises
point.
in the trees, branches snapping, leaves crunching. At one point, I even thought I saw a shadow move between the trees. But when I aimed my flashlight, it was gone. The others didn't notice anything. They just kept laughing and running. I tried to act normal, but I couldn't shake the nervous pit in my stomach. The last round of the night, Jason wanted to hide in the woods again. We
Okay.
all split up like before. I didn't want to go too far, so
Yeah.
I stayed near
Yeah.
the edge. I crouched
Nobody
low
else
in
is
the tall
going that
grass.
far in.
I could see the faint glow of the porch lights through the trees.
That's
I heard
good.
Jason's faint
marker.
voice in the distance counting. When he was done, there was once again silence. After a few minutes, I heard something that froze me in place.
Oh.
It was whispering. A low voice, too soft to make out the words.
Oh no.
But it was close.
Wait a minute.
My whole body tensed up. I peeked over the grass, but the woods were empty.
Oh.
I listened hard, but the whispering had stopped.
Wait, was it in
A
front,
moment
behind?
later, I heard footsteps again. They moved past me and into the trees. I lay trembling. That was when Jason called that the game was over. Everyone else came out, laughing and brushing dirt off themselves.
Man, you
I
are
walked
really
back slowly,
unlucky.
my heart still racing. I told them I had heard someone whispering, but they all just laughed and said I was
Ah.
trying to scare them.
No.
I didn't argue, but I knew what I heard.
Yeah.
We sat in Tyler's yard after that, drinking soda
I
and talking.
could not.
That was when Matt asked if anyone else had noticed the man.
Oh.
Stopped and looked at him. He said while he was hiding, he thought he saw a tall man standing in the woods.
I
He
heard
said the man
somebody.
didn't move, just stood there watching.
And you didn't say anything?
Jason told him he was crazy.
No.
Eric
No.
laughed it off.
Yes.
But I felt
Yeah.
sick, because I believed him.
Duh.
We ended the night soon after. Everyone went home. I lay in bed that night, staring at my ceiling,
Tell me you
unable to
didn't
sleep.
believe me.
I kept hearing the whispering in my head, the slow crunch of footsteps in the leaves. I never played hide and seek in the woods again.
Damn.
Even now, years later, whenever I hear leaves crunch underfoot in the dark,
Oh.
I think back to that night. I think about that man that Matt said he saw. I think about the
Yeah.
footsteps that weren't Jason's. And the
Word.
whisper that I still can't explain. Maybe it was a stranger passing through.
No.
Maybe it was someone who lived out there.
Maybe.
All I know is that when you hide in the dark woods, you never really know who else is hiding with you.
Yeah. Never trust nature. It didn't plan for you to like, be that powerful.
It was a hot Saturday afternoon last July. I was 14 at the time. and
Oh,
I live out in the
that's
rural part
young.
of Pennsylvania. My backyard is huge. We have acres of open grass, trees, and an old storage
Man.
shed at the edge of the yard.
Big
My
area.
friends and I spent almost every summer day out there. That day, it was me,
That sounds
Ryan,
good.
Josh, Adam. We were just messing around.
God, these people have so many friends. Why can't I have this kind of childhood? I mean, okay, let me change that. That sounded really messed up now that I think about it. It sounds good in the first minute, okay? After that, I kind of want a different life. I mean, probably better, right? What am I saying today? Kidnapped with no friends, right? I don't know, it's just like, he has 5 people, 4.
My friends and I spent almost every
I don't
summer
know.
day out there. That day, it was me, Ryan, Josh, Adam.
It's 4.
We were just messing around,
Great.
playing basketball on the hoop my dad put up near the garage.
Okay.
We played for about an hour before we were all
Yeah.
tired and sitting in the grass, sweaty and drinking water.
Hide and seek.
That's when we saw a kid we didn't recognize
Oh.
who came walking up from the dirt road that runs past my house.
He's a
He
kid,
looked
though.
about 16,
Oh.
older than us, taller too.
Oh, that's not
He had
good.
black hair that was kind of messy and wore a gray shirt and jeans, even though
Yeah?
it was hot out. We all stopped
Oh,
talking
no.
when we noticed him. He He walked right up like he already knew us.
You didn't know
He asked
him?
if we wanted to even the teams out and make it 3-on-3. None of us answered right away.
Come on, let him
Finally,
in.
Adam asked who he was. The
Shane.
kid said his name was Keith.
Oh, okay.
He said he lived just up the road and was just walking through the woods when
Yeah.
he saw us. We all kind of looked at each other.
Come on.
I've lived here my whole life and never saw this kid once.
You didn't let him play
Neither
with
had my
you?
friends. But he acted normal enough,
Yeah.
I guess. Ben asked him if he wanted to play basketball. Keith shook his head and suggested we play manhunt instead.
Manhunt.
He said my yard was perfect for it
Yeah,
since there were so many
yeah.
spots to hide. In the moment, I don't think any of us gave that comment a second thought, but in hindsight, that should have been a red flag. How would this
depends.
kid know anything about my
Oh,
property?
yeah, that's creepy.
We all agreed to play. It sounded more fun than standing around in the heat. We split into 2 teams.
Okay.
Keith immediately volunteered to be on the hunting team first.
Ooh.
He said he loved being the seeker.
Yeah,
So it
I
was
can
Keith,
see it.
Adam, and Josh hunting, and me, Ryan, and
Actually,
Ben
can
hiding.
I? I don't think I can.
Adam kicked a soccer ball to signal the start.
Okay.
We ran off into the yard while the hunters covered their eyes and counted. Ryan took off toward the tree line.
Okay.
Ben sprinted for the side of the garage.
Where are you going?
I didn't want to hide in the woods yet,
Okay.
so I went into the storage shed. It always smells
Ooh.
like gasoline and old wood in there. I
Yeah.
found a pile of folded tarps in the corner, so I climbed under one and lay still.
Oh, that's good. Good hiding
I
place.
stayed under
Nobody
there for
wants
at
to be
least 10
there.
minutes, but it felt like forever. Nobody came.
Ooh.
I started thinking maybe the hunters had given up.
Yeah.
Then the shed door creaked open.
Oh,
The tarp ripped off me in
Oh.
one quick motion. I guess it was an obvious spot.
maybe.
I looked up to Adam's
Oh,
smiling
thank
face. We both walked back to the
Oh.
patio.
I think I really worried me like half a second there, but like, okay. I would have to say that I like the worst part of hide and seek. If you don't have a timer, then like the whole point of hide and seek is that if you're a really good hider, the seekers won't be able to find you, and they'll give up. So unless you have a timer and you can hear them, you're kind of just left there waiting and kind of like trying to listen out for like, oh hey, they told it all. You know, that's like kind of the worst part of hide and seek. It's the waiting. Especially in a bigger area. Yeah.
A few minutes later, Ben showed up. He'd been caught too.
Okay.
Eventually, Adam and Josh walked back. We all stood around drinking water, but Keith wasn't there.
Really?
At first, nobody said anything. Then Josh asked where Keith went.
Yeah.
None of us knew.
You're
Waited
all
another
here?
10 minutes, thinking he'd come walking back any second, but he never did.
Oh.
Adam finally shrugged and said maybe he was just some weird kid and left. The rest of
Maybe.
us agreed, even though it felt strange that he would just disappear without saying anything.
At his own
When
day?
the others
Yeah.
left around sunset,
That's
I went
weird.
inside. That's when I noticed something odd near
Your
my
house?
bedroom window. On the grass was this piece of rope.
Oh.
It was weathered and dirty, like it had been outside for
Oh
months.
no.
But I know it hadn't been there earlier. I picked it up and tossed it aside, but it stuck in my head.
Yeah.
The first thought I had was Keith. I
Really?
told myself I was overthinking. But later that evening, I couldn't stop wondering if he'd gone inside the house while we were distracted.
Yeah, like I think like kind of a really good idea. Like if you're like the same age as kids, or like, if you look enough like the kid, or you're like a little bit older than them, all you really have to do is ask them, oh, can we do like this activity? And then when they're all busy like doing it, you can kind of just slip into the house and do something. I don't know what. Maybe he wanted to rob you. I don't know. I can't think of another thing he would want to do.
The first thought I had was Keith. I told myself I was overthinking. But later that evening,
Yeah?
I couldn't stop wondering if he'd gone inside the house while we were distracted.
Maybe.
My dad usually leaves one of the side doors unlocked during the day.
Why?
I went room by room, checking closets and under beds.
Okay.
Nothing.
Nothing.
That night,
Really?
I got ready for bed around 11.
Did you
I
check
laid there
your
for
bed?
maybe an hour scrolling on my phone
Okay.
when I heard something.
Oh,
Soft footsteps outside my
oh
door.
no.
I froze. My dad sometimes gets up
the
at
door.
night to use the bathroom, but he always coughs or clears his throat. This was quiet. Too quiet. I called out for my dad.
Why?
No answer. I sat up with my pulse racing.
Lock
The
the
footsteps
door.
stopped right outside my door.
Lock
I
it.
finally got up and locked it.
Oh, thank God.
I stood there, staring at the handle, waiting. After about 30 seconds, I heard the front door shut. The sound carried through the whole house.
Oh, that's
I
horrible.
didn't waste a second. I ran to my dad's room and shook him awake.
Why?
He groggily
I
sat
get
up while I
why.
explained what I heard. He didn't doubt me.
Oh,
He
thank
grabbed
God.
a shotgun from under his bed and told me to stay close.
What are you
We
gonna do
searched
now?
the whole
Yeah.
house together. Every closet, the basement, the garage. He even went outside and walked the property with a flashlight.
Show him the
But he
rope.
didn't find anything. We locked every door
Yeah.
and window after that. The next day, I told my friends, and they all laughed it off, saying Keith was probably just some weirdo passing through.
Oh,
But
what?
Ryan admitted he thought Keith was strange too.
Yeah.
He said Keith barely talked during the game.
Oh.
He just stared at people.
Ew.
That night, I couldn't sleep. Around 2 in the morning, a scratching sound woke me up.
At your
It
window?
was coming from my bedroom window.
Oh, no. He
I
had the
froze,
rope.
staring at the blinds. The scratching was slow, like someone dragging a stick or nail against the glass.
Yeah?
I didn't want to look, but I couldn't stop
Duh.
myself. I carefully bent one of the
Hunt it.
blinds open just a crack. On the other side of the window was a figure.
Keith.
I couldn't see his face, just the shape of someone standing inches away in the dark. I jumped back and screamed for my dad. I ran into the hallway, shouting until he came out of his room. He didn't hesitate. He ran outside with a shotgun,
Wow.
firing 2 rounds into the air. I heard him yelling that he'd shoot whoever was out here if they came back.
Oh, wow.
The figure at the window was gone.
Yeah.
The rest of the night, I didn't sleep at all.
I
I
could
sat in
not.
the living room with the lights on while my dad stayed up too.
The living room.
The next morning, he told me he thought Keith had been the one messing with us.
Yeah.
He said if that kid showed up again, he'd shoot him.
What?
I know he wasn't fully
Yeah,
serious,
he's a
but
kid.
that's just how my dad is. He said that kid isn't welcome anywhere near our house ever again.
I
As
don't
far as I
think.
know, Keith never came
Yeah.
back. But sometimes when I'm outside at night, I think about that rope by my window,
Yeah.
and I wonder what he was planning to do if I hadn't woken up when I did.
I mean, considering how, if he did get into the house the first time, he probably
And I wonder what
could have, like, he probably could have taken whatever he needed while you guys were playing Manhunt. So he probably doesn't just want, like, money or your belongings. He probably wants you guys. He was looking at you guys all weird. He might want to kill you guys, and that rope was like a noose or some sort of strangulation device. I don't think he was planning on kidnapping. I don't know where a kid would be able to hide somebody. And usually kidnappings are either like sexual or like for monetary gain. So he would probably just murder you guys, and he might take your stuff. Although you never mentioned if he took anything. So he probably just wanted to kill you guys. But they were good. My only issue is this. Look at this. Okay, look at this. See how like it overlaid twice? Like Mr. Nightmare. Mr. Nightmare. Why do you do that? Like, is this just like an old video that he remade? Like, it's not like he needed to use this footage as if it was like his original footage. This is probably just like a stock image with a little filter over it. Like, see this line that moves here? Like, it probably just like an image overplaced with a thing. So I don't know why he had to use like another image he already used. But yeah. That is my only issue with the video. Overall, good narration, entertaining, and scary stories. They were good. And I hope to see you guys next time for another Mr. Nightmare video. Bye!